about some jazz things that you can apply to guitar or other instruments. We start out with what I call change of feel. Traditionally, jazz will have two elements, otherwise it's not really jazz. One is some kind of swing feel. It doesn't literally mean swing. If it's a rock tune, it's got to cook a little. If it's a polka, it's got to dance hot. But one element of jazz is the rhythmic feel or swing. The other element is improvisation. If there's no improvisation and it's all written out or memorized, it's a jazz style, but really not truly jazz. A couple interesting things I think are that when we were young and asking how do you play jazz, one of my teachers, a very fine guitar player and teacher, Bruce, said, you play what you hear. And as a naive kid, I said, what if you don't hear anything? And his answer was, then don't play anything. And it's really important space in music, not just moving one's fingers or breathing. Space is important in any kind of music. And so if you don't hear anything, don't play anything. A couple other things on that real quick here. Kenny Burrell did a seminar a few years ago down at Wayne State University. And someone says, how do you think of your improvisation? He says, well, you say something and then you say something else. And those are kind of ideas on ways to improvise. But I wanted to start out here, as I said, with change your feel. Say you've got kind of a rock thing going, say in the key of A. It's a real good technique with the group or alone to change from, say, a rock feel to a swing feel. And so I'm going to play the same kind of thing, a blues kind of thing. And the first chorus, I'm going to do 3 or 4 choruses. First chorus will be a rock feel. The next chorus will be kind of a jazz feel. And see if you can hear a difference. I'm hoping you can. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not changing the tempo. We're hoping not to change the tempo. Jazz will feel slower than rock in a sense because the second beat is lagged, or the second half of the beat is lagged, so you get rather. And really the tempo is, you want to hold the tempo. So another example, a way to practice that, say you're doing a minor blues, an 8-bar minor blues. Folks may not know this, but 8-bar minor blues sounds like this in G minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Or there's an 8-bar blues. Okay, it's minor blues. I'm going to do it Latin first, okay? And Latin is a little like rock in that the eighth notes are straight. The first one's the same length as the second. So here, start with Latin, then we'll go to swing the second time. We're open. change of feel can be a very, very effective tool in improvisation, whether you're playing alone or with a group. With a group, you hope you have sensitive enough guys to hear you when you yell, "Rock now!" You hope so. At any rate, I wanted to talk about a couple other things. One is what jazz is in another sense. If you have a song and you're going to play variations on it, you could vaguely call it from a classical thing, from a classical background, theme and variation. And there's, in music, 4 elements that are vital to a musical form. Rhythm is primary in a sense, melody, harmony, and tone. And when you're improvising, you can take any of those elements singly and kind of vary them, or you can take all of them or some of them, whatever you like. So say we have a very simple theme here, like Frere Jacques, the key of C. It starts on 1 of the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's what I mean by 1. In the key of C, that'll be a C. We get Frere Jacques, very simple and straight here. Okay, now that was the melody. Now I'm going to play what would be a harmony and kind of yodel the melody. So we got a rhythm, we got a melody, we got harmony and kind of a tone. At any rate, we can vary in them. I'm going to vary the rhythm first this time. Okay, and you can vary it hoping that you come back at the right place. If it's an 8-bar phrase, you hope it's 8 bars long. At least that's my way of thinking on it. Okay, now I'm going to vary the melody a little bit. So we kind of have the melody in our head. So I'll try this. Then I come back to melody. Now I'm going to really stretch out here a little. I'm going to say, okay, the chord's a major. It's a major chord that we're hearing in the background, presumably. And I'm going to change it to a minor sound. Now this may throw your rhythm players. I don't see them real well today, but you can it's a little radical. Instead of making it a major sound, which the melody is, which is a major third, I'm going to make it a minor third and see what happens. So I'll play a little bit of and then do the variation. Here's the variation now. Okay. So that's an idea there. You can change the rhythm, you can change the melody, and then you can take just the chords and play variations of the chord. Let's go off on a tangent there. I was lucky enough to go to a Howard Roberts seminar many years ago. He talked about what he thought of as the 4 tools for single line improvisation, or any instrument that plays a single note. And the four tools or elements he called scales. So if you've got a C chord as a major chord, let's use another chord here. It's getting a little dark. Here's E flat. Okay, you can use this E flat major scale. So if you got a melody like Frere Jacques again, you can use that whole scale. Okay, and now all I'm doing is running up and down an E flat major scale. The other tool, scales, arpeggios. You can break up the chord into harp-like, broken chords, arpeggios. And it takes a while to get those under control. So he's got scales, arpeggios, Then he talked about intervals. This is an unusual one. Interval is a leap rather than just a continuous group of steps, which is called scales. Intervals, you could go from 1 to 3, say, then 2 to 4, so you get. Okay, those are called thirds, following a scale pattern, or you can do them based on the arpeggio. Here's your arpeggio. You use thirds above. Okay, and the fourth, you've got scales, intervals, arpeggios, and the last one is licks, of course. And I started a club years ago. It didn't last very long. The dues weren't high enough. It's called the Hot Lick of the Week Club, I called it. But at any rate, a lick is a melodic kind of compilation of all those things that your whole sounds pretty good. Here's one that, here's the first lick I learned from a fellow named Marty. If you got a D minor to a G7, you can get this sound. And that's the whole lick. Here it is in C minor. And here's another lick, based on the same thing. C you can call them over if you like. Here's a West Montgomery lick that everybody sings. And it's actually just a mic with an extra little note, so it's not just. You went 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can do that as a descending thing. Here's D flat minor, C minor, you get starting it on the 9th. It starts on the 9th of the minor chords. You get. And so those are like, so Howard Roberts again, his idea, scales, arpeggios, intervals, and licks. I'm going to go with the intervals just a little more here. With intervals, you can talk about fourths, which were very popular in the late 60s. So say you got a C minor chord, or F minor here. Rather than playing thirds, try fourths. So fourths means if the first note is F, you go up the scale 1, 2, 3, 4. So the next note would be B flat. So the interval of a fourth is like this. And then from the G, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you get things like this on F minor. That's called quartal or four-note harmony rather than tertiary harmony, which is 3 notes. Okay, one more interval thing here. Say you want a harmony that'll work. You can do this both melodically as melodies or harmonies done at the same time. So you got Ferry Jacques here, say in a key of F. You're going to harmonize it with a 6 below. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So for the F, you'd have an A below it. For the E, you would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the G below it. And as a harmony, it would sound like this. Okay, that's harmonically, meaning played together. Melodically, you can do it like this. Ideas to fool around with. Hope you like them. Now I'm going to play a little thing for you here where I'm trying to use the things we're talking about. I'm going to try to play what I hear. And when my teacher said you play what you hear, my answer was, what if you don't hear anything? He said, don't play anything. I said, I later changed it to jazz is about playing what you hear mentally, but also hearing good things, meaning you have to listen to enough of the kind of idiom you're trying to express so that you sing in that, or your music sings in that kind of language. So I like traditional mainstream jazz, so I'm going to play some variations on something I do all the time, rhythm blues. Rhythm changes, which is variations on George Gershwin's I've Got Rhythm. And I'll try to use some of those elements we're talking about. little Latin. I hope you enjoyed that. Do one more little thing here. When you're doing an art form of any sort, hopefully calling this an art, the picture frame is important. It's not the main thing. It's like a cake with lots of icing. And if you hope there's a cake there too. But if you don't put the icing and the candles on, people don't even know that the cake is there in a way for a party or something. So the point is, intros and endings are very important for making a piece hold together. So let's look at something as simple as minor blues again in B flat minor. If I just started just jumping into it, that's fine, and if it's exciting enough, it'll happen. But I might put in that intro on either an 8-bar tune or a 12-bar tune or a 16-bar tune or a 20-bar tune. These are all 4-bar phrases in traditional music. Not always, but very often. Logically, the intro should be either 2 bars or 4 bars or 8 bars at the most, probably. And so say I'm doing a minor blues. Okay, I might set it up like this. I know that a 5 chord usually pulls to a 1 chord. So if I'm playing in B flat minor, 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is F. So I want to establish the key of B flat minor, and I want to end on F, so I pull to the beginning of the tune, which is B flat, because 5 pulls down very well, and it's a little hard to understand without paper, but 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I might do this kind of thing. I want to go from B flat and end on F in 4 bars. So a lot of standard ways to do this are things like this, a flamenco kind of thing. Okay, then I've got the F, and now I'm ready to start the tune. And I'll try one more here, and you see what I'm talking about. You may not know this, but if you've got F, if you flat the 5th, you've got a very important jazz substitution, which is the same as the flatted 2 chord. If this is 1, B flat, and 2 is C, the flatted 2 is C flat. And that chord with a flatted 5th is exactly the same as an F7th in inversion. So you might do something like this. See, I'm using that as the F7th to the D7th, a little different bass line there. So I'm going to do an intro and then play a chorus, and then I'll end it with the other one. Often intros and endings work the same way. So I'm going to kind of showcase a little B flat minor blues by putting a little intro at the beginning, a little ending at the end.